just want to put out my wings and fly and have them see it.
I've forgiven my parents a long time ago. They've been supportive. However, I've forgiven my parents a long time ago. They've been supportive. However,
We all have dreams. We all drift through mental states of ambition and of hope. We all have visions of what we wish to achieve and how we wish to be perceived in our lives. Some might say that we all possess the power to control our own destinies, that we all have reason to believe in our own successes. If so, what determines that some succeed and others do not? Does anything ever happen without a reason?
My name is Soyeon Lee. I'm 29 years old. I was born on a rainy morning on June 20th, 1979 in Seoul. The first 9 years of my life, I lived in South Korea with my parents and a younger sister. My life was good. I thought it would always stay the same. There was no way I could have prepared myself for the drastic change that came when my parents decided to move to Morgantown, West Virginia in the U.S. I have lived in America ever since.
My name is Keisha McLeod Wells, but most people call me Fire. I'm 31 years old. I was born 2 minutes before my twin sister on the 21st of June, 1977 at Kings County Hospital. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, in Flatbush, with my mom, stepdad, 2 sisters, and younger brother. Back then, Flatbush was one of those neighborhoods where everyone was using drugs or selling it. People would hang out in the hallways of apartment buildings or at the corner stores selling and buying crack and cocaine. People who haven't grown up in a place like this must have thought it was crazy. But to us, it was just a way of life. Good morning, Gleason's. How can I help you?
God, help me have a really nice day today. Please let the kids not make so much fun of me. Give me a friend to sit with at lunch. I had no friends, and kids in my school in Morgantown were not used to seeing people from Asia or other cultures. I was very different. I looked forward to coming home and going to practice, and I would escape into my own world, imagining that I was performing on a big stage in a beautiful concert hall full of chandeliers and a full house in the audience. I would imagine wearing all kinds of gorgeous dresses I had seen in storybooks. I would play passionately and would bow to a sea of people giving me a standing ovation. I would imagine this over and over and over. When I played, I felt all the loneliness disappear, and the piano became my closest friend. I felt convinced that God had given me music.
When I was 24, I started working out at Kingsway Boxing Gym in Manhattan, just as a mean of pure fitness, not boxing. It was cheaper than regular fitness gyms, so since I didn't have much money, that's where I started training. One day after working out on my own for about 4 months consistently, a big guy named Lee Shabaka approached me. I used to watch him by afar. He was known to be the best boxing coach for females in New York. He asked me if I ever thought about competing. He looked straight in my eyes and said, "Look, if you train with me, I guarantee you that I'll make you a champion in a year." I thought to myself, a champion? I've never been a champion at anything.
I want to be a pianist that the whole world knows. I think that would be something really special. Like, be invited to play in lots of places. They can turn on the radio and hear me play, or turn on the TV and see me play. I want to be a very respected musician.
I'm gonna go pro. I'm gonna try to. I want to get paid to fight now. You know. I don't want to be 33, 34. Being an amateur, like like an amateur. I have nothing else to prove no more in the amateur. I have 9 titles already. So now it's time to move on, take a step higher. I would love to be a world champion as a pro boxer. That's different.
I was 15 years old and had lived in the States for about 6 years. My dad had finished his studies and was preparing to return to Korea. My parents were concerned about my returning and wanted to find a way for me to continue studying music in the U.S. The possibilities were greater here, and we made the difficult decision for me to stay behind. My family walked me to my new room at the school, Interlochen Arts Academy in Michigan. And when they left, it had turned dark. I felt like my life had just turned upside down. I just stood there, watching the taillights of the car disappear and blend into the darkness. I miss them so much.
지금 방금 왔어? 지금 몇 시야? What time is it there? 10, 12,
Did Daddy come home just now too?
I don't know.
Oh, he was just up by himself?
Everything is kind of weird right now because nothing's like set. But
I know, but I also feel like it's tough, and I feel like because I'm just stuck here playing my music, I almost feel like I don't really know how to be out in the world. Do you know what I mean? Okay, Zona, go to sleep. I'll call you tomorrow. I'll call earlier so maybe I can talk to Daddy too. Okay, 잘 자. Bye. Okay.
no, she left it there so long. It's obviously she wanted it fixed.
What do you think?
I think she wanted it fixed
And now she's having a change of heart. Why?
because the price was higher than what she hoped it would be.
That's what I'm thinking. Going inside the courtroom.
Maybe. What you want to decide?
JanSport book bag. Those were really trendy and popular when I went to elementary school. My mother had brought me one of them. And one day, I was walking home from school when a group of girls from my school followed me and then jumped me. They were all throwing punches at me and kicking me. And they took my JanSport book bag. When I reached home, I told my mother about the incident. She asked me if I fought back. If she ever heard that I didn't fight back, she would say, "I'll whip your ass myself when you get home." The next day, my mother walked me all the way to school and asked for me to point out which of the girls who jumped me. I pointed her out. My mother walked up to her and the other girls involved and said, "Excuse me, you're the one jumped my daughter? Why don't you fight her right now one-on-one? Matter of fact, why don't you all take a turn and fight her one-on-one?" The girls were scared. None of them wanted to fight. They all walked away. And I never got my book bag back.
we ourselves able to identify the demons and the powers that infiltrate our strongest ambitions and our deepest wishes.
I remember lying on my bed in the room I shared with my sister. I wasn't that old yet because I was still playing with dolls. She would enter our room in a rage, usually with a belt. I got those old-fashioned whoopings. Sometimes I got whoopings when I did nothing wrong. Well, put that ass whooping to her something else you did wrong and never got caught for it. I would challenge my mother and look her dead in her eyes without crying or showing her that I was in pain. She just continued until the tears rolled down my face. I was trying to act tough and to show her that she couldn't hurt me. That was stupid because it hurt like hell. Probably won't be able to sleep much tonight because every time, usually when I sleep, I have dreams, of me and my fight. It's always weird dreams, that I forgot how to jab. I've had dreams like that when I went in the ring and I just didn't know what a jab was. But you know what the worst dreams are? Dreaming about me having to go, won. That I dreamed that I won already. I think I already said that. But, and I wake up and I realize the fight hadn't begun. I'm like, dang, I thought I won. Those dreams, it's like taunting dreams, teasing me. I try not to think about it, but I can't help but think about it. So.
was 18 years old and had completed my first semester at the Juilliard School, a very well-known conservatory in New York City. Although my dad never mentioned it to me to keep me from worrying, I knew from my sister that things were very difficult. Even with a scholarship, it was expensive to pay for living expenses. I depended on my parents' support, and my parents were struggling. Then the next day, I had my private lesson. As always, my teacher asked how I was doing that day. I couldn't hide my worries, so I told him that I was thinking of taking a semester off because it was too expensive. He looked straight at me and asked, "How much do you need?"
Introducing you first, hailing from Brooklyn, New York, Keisha
I was 16 at the time. I was the kind of teenager who started to argue with my father a lot. We just grew apart and didn't like each other anymore. One day, we were alone in the kitchen arguing, probably about something stupid. I remember mumbling something under my breath as I was walking away. Then suddenly he just snapped and attacked me. He was fighting me as if I was another man. I was in complete shock. I fought him back with all my power, which wasn't half as his. My adrenaline was so high that I couldn't really absorb the pain that was put on me at the moment. My sister tried to break us up, and I remember her screaming, "Get off my sister! Leave her alone!" After about 20 seconds, what felt like 10 minutes, he just snapped back into reality and stopped. He just quietly walked back to his bedroom. Later that evening, my mom came home from work. She had heard what happened, and she told me that I had to leave the house right away. I was sent to live with my aunt. I was hurt, angry, confused, depressed, and lonely. She took his side.
Bend your knees. Now do it.
Thank you.
You did a great job. All right?
Thank you.
Okay, we'll train for the next one.
I lost by 2 points. 2 points. It was that close. It was that close. Yeah, I mean, she didn't have nothing for me. I didn't have, I guess, probably nothing for her, but it was like we both had like the same strategy. Alright. Alright, I love you too. Okay. Alright, bye-bye.
What did your trainer say?
I don't know. I just got like, I don't know if it was anxiety or if it was panic. I don't know. I just started shaking and stuff. I couldn't stop trembling. I never ever been through that. I didn't know what was going on, so I guess it made me nervous. And then I got into like an anxiety attack, like, or a panic attack, because it just wouldn't. My nose, I just wanted to rip it off. It was like bad. It wasn't painful. It was just itchy, you know. Like it is now, but it's not as bad as it was then. I really don't know. I can't explain anxiety attacks. It just happens, you know. It's just something that just happens. I don't know. I mean, I don't like them, but it just happens.
My only great fear is that I won't be able to share with my parents, like the fruit of everything they've done for me. That is actually my only great fear, because they have poured their souls into making my life in music happen. And I just wanna, put out my wings and fly with it and have them see it. And that's really it. I want to be able to do that when they're still here.
I was getting ready for a prestigious international piano competition, and I had been preparing very hard. The weather had turned suddenly, and rain started to pour. I remember looking at the speedometer and thinking that maybe we should slow down. And right then, I felt the car flip in the air and go off the road. That's all I can remember, and I lost consciousness. My mom called the hospital and said to me, "Just stay alive. I love you." Miraculously, I had no broken bones or brain fractures. The doctors were stunned. They repeatedly said, "Someone up there loves you."
Soyeon Lee, our first soloist, trained at the Juilliard School, BM and MM degrees attained, and has appeared in Europe and in the United States quite often.
Back at my teacher's house, right after the car accident, I had 4 weeks before the big competition. I couldn't practice because I was unable to sit without getting dizzy. I just played the pieces in my head and practiced in small increments. 5 minutes, then 7 minutes, then 10 minutes. I never stopped practicing mentally. It kept me from breaking apart.
And finally, at long last, on stage here at Soyeon Lee, 24-year-old Korean pianist.
I went to the competition, not completely prepared. My body still ached. I played, and I gave it everything I had. It wasn't perfect, but I played. I forgot about the pain. I was alive, and nothing meant more than that. The jurors must have listened to my heart. I came home with second prize and the Mozart Prize.
24-year-old Korean pianist Soyeon Lee, finalist number 3. How could you feel other than chills down your spine as you hear this young pianist?
예술가는 말이야. 그 베토벤이든 모차르트든 공감들은 자기 모든 걸 가져와서 그 오선에다 표현한 거야. 그러니까 그 사람이 얼마나 고독하게 살았어. 그러니까 그런 고독하지 않은 사람은 예술가 될 수가 없어.
그치. 그러니까 내가 지금까지 했던 건 오케이. 이왕 내가 친구도 없고 뭐 이렇게 혼자 할 바에면 at least 잘 나가고 유명하고 싶. You know what I mean? Other people, they're so good, and they're really good with people, and they're very giving, and they can still retain their connection with music. Now, for some reason, I can't.
No. I don't think it's not as strong of a connection with music as you have, because you get as much as you give.
No,
you give a lot.
No, but I just feel like I can't. Like whenever I spend time with friends or something, and I can't care. I protect myself from caring too much about like a lot of other people, and I become very selfish
because I feel like I need to save it for myself.
No, you should be.
You know?
It's very natural. It's very normal. Musicians, even people who are not musicians, they live their lives that way.
It's the only job, like, otherwise I should be a banker, or something, you know, like Maggie. I should make money and, like, you know, hang out with people. Why am I living, like, I don't even have a bridal shower party.
아빠는
아니, 결혼한 준비하는데 부를 친구가 없잖아.
오케이. 아빠 있잖아. 아빠 친구잖아. 친구. 더 가장 reliable한 friend. 오케이?
아니, 그래도 내가 소은이한테 어제 그랬어. I just felt like I didn't have a chance to get to know anybody.
아빠는 네 헬퍼잖아. 난 네 헬퍼거든. 그러니까 네가 어떻게 하라고
My
나는
도우미.
방해는 안 하고 나는 진짜 헬퍼야. 그러니까
지금 우리가 이렇게 다 사람들이 행복하게 사면서 얼핏 보면 출세하고 얼핏 보면 또 성공한 것 같잖아. 그런데 이는 다 힘들어, 외로워. 그런데 그게 뭐냐면 내면에 본질적인 자유야. 그러니까 자기한테 지금 자유가 없어서 내면에서 나오는 자유가 없어서 그런 거야. 그리고 사람들이 왜 성공하려고 그러겠어? 그 팔로우를 찾으려고 그러는 거야. 외로우니까. 왜 닮은 거 잘 살려고 그러는 거야. 불림하고 싶어서 그렇잖아. 그래서 누군가를 주변에 자꾸 끌고 싶어서 그게 뭐야. 자기가 외롭다는 뜻이잖아, 그게. 그런데 엄마도 그렇게 엄마도 가끔씩은 그렇지만 그게 필요 없다고 느끼고.
사람의 기본.
나도 그거 많이 느껴.
It was about a week or two after the fight I had with my dad. I was still depressed and furious about the event. I was on my way to school one morning, and as I was walking across the street, I saw a van coming at me. I remember me having a chance to run across without getting hit. But at that very moment, I didn't care. I wanted to die. When I woke up in the ambulance, all I remember is asking them, am I going to die? You got banged up pretty bad, but you'll live. When I arrived to the hospital, my whole family was there already. I tried to smile, but I couldn't. I could see out of one eye, and through it, I could see my father in the background looking at me. He had a look of guilt written on his face. That gave me a lot of satisfaction. Till this day, I don't remember ever receiving an apology. We never spoke of it. She took his side. I guess when I say to people when they ask me, why do I box? I just reply, I box to keep sane.
There have been many moments when I felt so vulnerable, where I pondered doing something else because of the stress and pressure of performing and making it in this music world. After a particularly hard day, I called my dad to talk, whining and complaining, at the end of which he told me, "Don't forget that I love you more than anything in this world, and that what you're doing is making this world so beautiful. What you're doing is the only thing that is absolutely necessary." Tears rolled down my eyes, and he gave me all the strength I needed to stand up and keep going. I do dream of fame and the world's big concert halls. I dream of my voice being heard everywhere. And most of all, I dream of the inner peace and fulfillment which makes all the sacrifice, loss, and loneliness in my life worth it all. My parents have given me everything.
The women's 114-pound champion is from the blue corner,
There we go.
Thank you.
Four-time champ.
Congratulations.
The bride would like to express her most sincere love and gratitude to her parents through her music. Thank you for giving me so much love. I am everything I am today because of you. With thanksgiving and love, may this melody express and resonate my affection to you. Thank you, Mom and Dad.
we all have dreams, ideas for a better state of being. When a dream does indeed come true, do we actually know it? When a dream does not come true, do we have the heart to face it? Some might say that the dynamics of life could even blur the boundaries between illusion and reality enough to make us unaware of the actual pursuit of something more, something better, that eternal dream. If you asked yourself whether you have achieved what you once dreamed of, what would be your honest answer? Do you still dream? Why? Does anything ever happen without a reason?